Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Grizzly Bear Sims YouTube channel. I appreciate you coming back for another episode. All right, well, we are back on Lawfolds map, and yes, we have taken a little bit of a leap of faith, and we have started playing with the Seasons mod that I introduced you to just a day or two ago on my channel. So basically this is I've kind of spent about 20 minutes going over this mod, so I would direct you and refer you back to that particular video, please, because that way I don't basically bore everyone else that has watched the video with additional commentary and everything here. So basically we've got 8 days before we need to do maintenance on this tractor, so that is cool, and a whole bunch of different features we have as a part of this mod. Now, I have modified the mod itself to reflect four. Currently, it's set to reflect 4 game days per season. So spring is going to be 4 days. We're still in day 1, by the way, and I need to obviously do a lot more research on this mod, review some changes that may be coming out very soon, and we'll certainly be taking all of that into consideration. So one of the things that we need to do today is we need to head over here and we need to fertilize this other field number, I'm not sure what field it is yet, can't see, but as we turn the corner we should be able to see here. Let me just pull up this map, field number 26. So we're going to go ahead and fertilize that field because this was the field that came, we owned it as part of the map install, but and it was cultivated, but it was not plowed, so we went ahead and plowed it, and we're just going to go ahead and fertilize it really quick. So we're just going to pull up that. We're going to set our auto width here, and we need to basically move and scoot over like so, and set our course over like this. My apologies. That's pretty good right there, and there we go. Get that set on the right implement, and we are off. All right. So I tell you what, I have, I sort of developed and devised, might be the best way of describing it, the whole seasons approach. I wrote the blog article about it. I started it with Goldcrest Valley. And it was just such a manual process, and of course nothing was necessarily reflected. There was, weather obviously was just whatever farm sim weather gives to us, but definitely there was nothing that would affect the way that crops grew or the way that the animals reacted to the different seasons, etc. This mod basically changes all that. One of the very cool things that we obviously have now is if we do Alt F, we've got a 7-day forecast. So we've got some rain. This is pretty typical of spring, depending on where you happen to live in the area. And of course, this map is situated in Scotland, so that's probably pretty true to life there. It certainly has always been sort of wet whenever I have visited. Sorry, can't talk and drive at the same time. Whenever I have visited the UK, the London area, south of England, in the springtime, it's obviously always been a little bit wet. So pretty cool representation there. Now again, I'm not necessarily an expert on how the mod works. I was told about this mod by Tyson. Tyson is a friend of our channel here, and he is a forum member of the Three Dudes Gaming Network forum, And Tyson had posted or actually Tyson had sent me a message through YouTube because obviously he knew that I was doing the seasons approach to how I had been playing both Goldcrest Valley as well as how I started doing Lawfolds. And so he sent a message basically saying, hey, I want to show you, point you in the direction of this particular seasons mod. I took a look at it. A few other YouTubers are also using the seasons mod, and so it's starting to get a little bit of traction. It appears that it's been in development for some time, but nobody really knew anything about it. And maybe hats off to those mod developers who did keep it somewhat hush-hush. I'm sure it's easier for them because they're not constantly nagged by, oh, when's it going to be ready? When's it going to be ready? Can I get early access to it or whatever? So just a couple of days ago, essentially everybody gained early access to it. It is beta, as I pointed out in the video, showcasing the mod and describing a little bit about the features. So I would encourage you again to look at that video. So it's going to kind of be trial and error, hopefully more trial than error, but you know, if we make some mistakes, we make some mistakes. But we're going to continue to kind of proceed with our general plan. We've got some things that hopefully we'll be able to harvest maybe later in this game day, or certainly in the next game day, because those fields have fruit on them. So we want to basically be able to get that if we can. That will just help with our finance situation. Now, one thing I did discover, sort of by mistake, I was off looking at I was kind of doing a map tour offline just for my own sake, just kind of driving around the map and looking around, and I found that there are gold nuggets on this map, and they all, I think, appear to be in the same general area. Now, I don't know if I will go after those gold nuggets or not. You know, there are a few pieces of equipment that I think that we could benefit from here on the farm, as I talked about in the previous episode. Perhaps a hay trailer, so that when we do bale our straw and stuff to take and sell, we can, you know, basically carry greater capacity at one time. That's better efficiency, obviously, from that perspective. There could also be some other things that might be kind of cool to have on the farm. Obviously, if we were to find all the 100 gold nuggets and get our $1 million, we could obviously jumpstart our sheep operation, which could possibly be good. And if we do that early enough in this game year, then we would obviously take advantage of both the breeding opportunities, because this mod does control animal breeding as well as wool production. So obviously sheep being the cash crop of Farm Sim 17, that might be a good thing to take advantage of. But if we don't do that, then we're basically going to leave the gold nuggets where they lay, and we will just farm it the way that the way that we have started out farming, keeping everything based on sort of career mode, as I've called it from time to time. So I hope you all are having a wonderful week. I'm trying to think if it is yet weekend when you're watching this video. My apologies. I've traveled this week. I just got back today, this evening actually, from a business trip out to the West Coast, to the US, and it was a very productive, it was a quick trip. I left on Sunday evening and got back Tuesday evening, and it is still Tuesday evening as I'm recording this, and I'm tired, but I feel pretty good, and I felt good enough that I wanted to do a little bit of farm sim before I go upstairs and watch a movie with my wife and get caught up with things that have transpired here with her, because obviously she stayed here and I traveled out west by myself for business, and had a wonderful time in San Francisco. Monday evening. Went down to the House of Prime Rib, and I know most people that go to San Francisco go for seafood down on Fisherman's Wharf, and that is certainly worthy. That is certainly worthy of a trip to go down there. But you know, I do love seafood. Let me just clarify that. I do love seafood, but I was hungry for something else, and about, I don't know, 5 or 6 years ago, I was out in the Bay Area on another business trip. And by the way, I won't necessarily say who I worked for, but I will just tell you that this company that I worked for, this large software company, is headquartered in the Silicon Valley area. And so I do have to occasionally go out there. And so about 5 or 6 years ago, I was out there on a business trip, and a friend of mine that I know that lives in the San Jose area picked me up from the hotel, and he's like, I want to take you to someplace unique and neat. Anyway, he took me to the House of Prime Rib, and the House of Prime Rib is in downtown San Francisco. And let me tell you, incredible. If you love prime rib, this is the place that you got to go the next time you find yourself in San Fran. Just unbelievable. They will not let you leave hungry. If you know, they have a couple of different you know, choices as far as the size of prime rib that they start you out with. But if you're still hungry, they will bring another piece around and carve it right there. They basically carve it at the table for you. They have this huge pit type mechanism, this where the prime rib is in it, and they take a piece out and they carve it right there at the table and give it to you. And of course you've got salad, and you've got I believe I had mashed potatoes, and it's just incredibly good prime rib, if you like prime rib. And then of course we did go down to downtown, and needed to stock up on some Ghirardelli chocolate, and so did that. And of course my wife is from Belgium, so she doesn't necessarily get the whole Ghirardelli chocolate thing, because she seems to think that Belgian chocolates rule the world, and hey, I would have to agree with her on that. But you know, we're not in Belgium, and so I had the opportunity to go to there, so certainly took advantage of that. But other than that, it's been a wonderful week. It was a good business trip. It was good to sort of get away from the cold and snow and everything, and it was not incredibly warm in San Francisco, as it almost never is. Even sometimes in the summertime, San Francisco can be downright cold, but it was still a nice break. And it's for me, it's sort of a occasional good break to get someplace where there is a little bit more humidity in the air, because it is so dry here, especially in the wintertime. If you are familiar with altitude, living at altitude, living in the Mile High City, it doesn't go without its problems. And so naturally, you know, the lack of humidity here does make breathing a little bit difficult. Your skin, you know, I think my first year here in October of 1998, I think I lost every layer of skin on my hands like 2 or 3 times, it seemed like. And so going someplace, either going back to like my home state of Texas to visit with family, or even going out, you know, to the West Coast, being able to visit an area where it's a little bit more humid, just tends to, the body just feels like it's repairing itself. Of course, I'm back here in the dry climate, but today it was, I believe the wife told me that it reached a high of almost 60 degrees, about 55 degrees or so. I think tomorrow is going to be about the same, and then I think we've got snow coming back in the forecast pretty soon as well. So it's just one of those things. I also want to do a quick shout out to all of the new people that have subscribed recently to my channel. I really appreciate it. I know I said a couple of episodes ago that I was going to try to get in the habit of reading comments and everything in my videos, and I promise one of these days I will do that, because I think that's kind of important and that'll give me something to talk about. I think that I'm just such a ball of energy right now because A, I'm super excited about this new Seasons mod, and B, I'm sort of, even though I was only on the West Coast for a couple of days, I quickly sort of adapted to that time zone. So I'm finding myself, it's like 9:30 at night, but I feel like it's like 8:30, and I just have this energy, and I think you can probably tell it from me blabbing and rattling on here. But I was excited, super excited to test out this mod, and I wasn't actually going to install it in a sort of a live environment. I was going to install that in my test map, which I actually did, but because it looks so good on my test map, and because I thought, well, you know something, let's just do this, because hey, you only live once, and I think it's going to be a pretty good mod, and I think it's sort of, you know, for those of us that use soil mod, I know that, you know, Refeat 1952, Mike, he was a advocate of soil mod. I mean, almost so much to the point that, you know, he wouldn't play maps without it, and I think that that's possibly one of the reasons, you know, why he's hanging on to Farm Sim 15 in his Let's Plays and everything. Plus, he's got some stories to tell, and all that's great stuff. But you know, I've actually missed soil mod, but you know, at least with 17, we have some different things to do. We've got, you know, we've got the plowing aspect, we've got the multiple seeding and stuff like that. So all that's kind of helped with the whole realism factor. And we'll just kind of quickly go down and make sure that we've got enough of this here. Might as well apply it if we have it. You know, don't want to ruin our crop yield here if we can avoid it. This little tractor might be a bit underpowered for this, because it seems like every time I turn this thing on, it really bogs it down. Now, I will tell you that you may notice a bit of a discrepancy between the amount of money that we had in game day or in the previous episode. I think that might have been episode number 3. To be honest, I forgot to look to see what episode this is going to be, so my apologies. But we had the little Fent, I think it was a Fent 300, and we weren't doing anything with it, and because I have been using Fents in the other maps that I've been playing, I decided that we would go ahead and sell that Fent and then just sort of reap the benefits from that. So that's why we have 100, I think it was at 54,000 or something, 54,000 pounds before, and now you see that we have 185,000. So we got a pretty good price for that. Plus, I think we sold a few other things, and then I also went ahead and took care of the weight situation, which I told you that we were going to do, just simply because we could. And I like the SOB weights a lot better than I do the other weights that came on the map. And actually, there was an update to the SOB weights. And one of my users brought that to my attention, so thank you for that. I appreciate it, and I did download that, as well as I noticed. Thankfully, I had Wi-Fi on the airplane coming back. That's always a huge benefit, of course. And had Wi-Fi on the plane, and I was able to. I noticed that there was a update for this map, so we're basically playing on the latest and greatest version of the map as well. So we're going to go ahead and grab some seeds here. I think these are live. Yep, they are. So we're going to go ahead and top our seeds off. And let's just quickly look and see what we might choose to plant. So we planted soybeans the other day, and I do apologize that this is kind of a duplicate thing, a duplicate episode, but hey, that's okay. So let's see, what do we have actually in the ground now? I think we looked at this the last episode, but because I traveled, I have forgotten. I tell you what, let's go ahead and just do another a crop of soybeans, 2 fields of soybeans, and that'll fill our soybean fix for how things go. And you know something, if you guys were paying attention, I made a very crucial error with how I seeded that previous field over there. I was using GPS, as I'm going to use now, and I completely had the width of the implement incorrect. So let me just quickly look and see what this seeder is here, and this is this guy here, and it is 6 meters. So for whatever reason, and this happened with another seeder as well, that it basically has the offset wrong. It remembers it because I did adjust it with the after I realized the error of my ways. And but yeah, I had to go in and fix some gaps because it was not right. So 6, and we'll just go ahead and key that in, and off we go. Oops, not until we turn the seeder on and lower it. Come on, Jerry. But yeah, as you can tell, I'm sort of excited. I'm really excited that this functionality with this mod is here, because to be quite honest with you, the way I was doing the manual seasons and everything, it was a lot of work. And I know I kept saying that I was going to share my spreadsheet, but my spreadsheet was so confusing that even I struggled from time to time to sort of understand what the heck I was talking about. And I just decided that, well, you know, and I was sort of thinking that, okay, we're just going to have to wait until cattle and crops come out to get a farm simulation application that could really embrace seasons. But I'm really glad to see this mod, and I'm looking forward to all that I think that it can become, and I hope that it will also benefit you in your virtual farming endeavors as well. So we will do every other line again like we did before, and then I will come back and do the headlands and everything afterwards. So I'm curious if you are thinking about downloading and installing the Seasons mod. Just keep in mind, folks, that it is in beta, so I would definitely do your due diligence as far as, you know, make a backup of your game save, and apply the mod, maybe, you know, in a test game or something, and just play around with it and see how you like it. Now, by default, it tends to there's some changes that you can make in the XML file, and you'll need to kind of understand how to do that, I suppose, but I don't think it's that complicated. I'm not planning on doing any sort of video on that, but sort of by default, it's set for 10, and I think I talked about this already, but it's set for 10 days per season. I sort of felt that that was a long time, especially for a Let's Play. That would basically be, you know, 40 game day year, and playing at slow mode at, you know, one speed that would really be, I think, too long. So I changed it. I modified it to 4 days per season. So we'll have a 12-day year, which is more or less what we were doing before with the manual process. And just hopefully, the weather and everything will work out for us. I need to do a little bit more research to determine, if we're planting everything appropriately. I'm sort of guessing that as long as the soil, the ground is not frozen, and it certainly is not, that we are okay with going ahead and proceeding with kind of our initial plan based on the old way of doing things, or the game way of doing things. But I'm going to do some more research. I'm still working the rest of this week here in my regular Denver office, but I'll have some time in the evenings to do a little bit of research and read some of the notes there on the GitHub website and see if I can figure out kind of what is what and what we might need to do, and if we need to change anything, then we'll certainly do that. But this was more or less what I was planning on doing for this episode anyway, was going ahead and fertilizing and sowing this field, and so that's what we're doing. And most likely when we come back to Lawfolds again with the next episode, whatever number that happens to be, because again, my bad, I forgot to look, I'll have a little bit more information for you as far as the mod itself and what our game plan needs to be. If you are playing the Lawfolds map, don't forget that there is an update available for this map. So you can get that update either through the mod hub, which quite honestly is quite a time-consuming download. I generally, for maps, I will download those directly from the mod hub web site versus doing it in the game, because it really does take a considerable more amount of time to download it through the game. And so I just downloaded the update when I got home, and just went ahead and overwrote the game save. Didn't have to start over. I've not seen any problems. I did sort of quickly read through the notes on the plane, and I didn't see anything that really stood out as being that big of an issue for us, whether we took the update now or waited. But I went ahead and decided, well, we might as well do this. We might as well take the update now, especially now that we're playing with the seasons mod, and we'll go from there. All right, well, we are quickly approaching our 30-minute magic number, and because I kept you all so long with that with the mod review for the seasons mod, that was my mod reviews. I like to do those in quick fashion, like 5 minutes, give you all the information that you need. But I felt that this mod was so complex and so important, and actually so fantastic, that taking a little bit more of your time, an extra 15 minutes or so, wouldn't be too bad of a thing. So again, I would point you to watch that video, even if you've watched this one. Watch that one before you make the decision to download the seasons mod and install it and everything, because I basically go through all the information as far as what the mod currently does and how it sort of controls various things. It changes the animal breeding behavior, it changes their consumption of water, their consumption of straw, it changes the amount of available daylight in the wintertime versus the summertime. It's just really cool. Plus, there could be plowable snow. Yes, plowable snow. So you might have to find a good use for those blades and everything to be able to plow a route to go and feed and water your animals. So how cool is that? That's pretty interesting stuff. All right, ladies and gentlemen, well, thank you so much for watching. I do really truly appreciate it. And if you like this video, please leave a like. It really does help motivate us. And if you are currently not subscribed to my channel, please consider doing that, and that also helps as well. And I do appreciate each and every person that watches, that comments. And as I stated in the seasons mod sort of overview video that I did, the 20-minute video, I will do my very best to help you better understand and better get the benefit of any mods, of any, if you have a question about anything related to Farm Sim 17 or 15 as far as that goes, don't feel or don't hesitate to post a question or a comment in the comment section. I do read those, and I do try to respond to each and every one of those, and I will try to help you as best as I possibly can. But sometimes, it's sort of impossible, because I don't know what your system configuration is. I don't know what mods you have installed and all that kind of stuff. But I will do my best, and that's my commitment to each and every one of you who are subscribers and just followers of my channel. You're all friends to me. You're all friends. You're all family. Thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful, wonderful upcoming weekend. And again, thank you for watching. Take care of yourself. Bye-bye.